This is Quality Over Quantity. I am host Samuel Monte Young-Bey. This is a series that I have entitled Treaties with the United States and Morocco and or the Moors. And the treaty that we're going to go over today is the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the United States of America and His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of Morocco, September 16th, 1836. I am going to read the Moroccan copy, and it has the Emperor's seal on it. Now you can get both copies. You can get the copy from the Moors and you can get the copy from the United States. I actually have both copies, but the one I'm going to read right now is the one with the Emperor's seal on it. Let's get into it. Treaty with Morocco. In the name of God, the merciful and clement. We have the Emperor's seal, Abd Araman Abinu Kesham, whom God exalt. Praise be to God. This is the copy of the Treaty of Peace, which we have made with the Americans and written in this book, affixing hereto our blessed seal, that with the help of God it may remain firm forever. Written at Mekanez, the city of olives, on the 3rd day of the month, Jumad el Lahar, in the year of the Hegera 1252, corresponding to September 16, AD 1836. Article 1. We declare that both parties have agreed that this treaty, consisting of 25 articles, shall be inserted in this book and delivered to James R. Leib, agent of the United States, and now their resident consul at Tangier, with whose approbation it has been made, and who is duly authorized on their part to treat with us concerning all the matters contained therein. Article 2. If either of the parties shall be at war with any nation whatever, the other shall not take a commission from the enemy, nor fight under their colors. Article 3. If either of the parties shall be at war with any nation whatever, and take a prize belonging to that nation, and there shall be found on board subjects or effects belonging to either of the parties, the subjects shall be set at liberty, and the effects returned to their owners. And if any goods belonging to any nation, with whom either of the parties shall be at war, shall be loaded on vessels belonging to the other party, they shall pass free and unmolested, without any attempt being made to take or detain them. Article 4. A signal or pass shall be given to all vessels belonging to both parties, by which they are to be known when they meet at sea. And if the commander of a ship of war of either party shall have other ships under his convey, the declaration of the commander shall alone be sufficient to exempt any of them from examination. Article 5. If either of the parties shall be at war, and shall meet a vessel at sea belonging to the other, it is agreed that if an examination is to be made, it shall be done by sending a boat with 2 or 3 men only. And if any gun shall be fired and injury done without reason, the offending party shall make good all damages. Article 6. If any more shall bring citizens of the United States or their effects to His Majesty, the citizens shall immediately be set at liberty, and the effects restored. And in like manner, if any more, not a subject of these dominions, shall make prize of any of the citizens of America or their effects, by bringing them into any of the ports of His Majesty, they shall be immediately released, as they shall then be considered as under His Majesty's protection. Article 7. If any vessel of either party shall put into a port of the other, and have occasion for provisions or other supplies, they shall be furnished without any interruption or molestation. Article 8. If any vessel of the United States shall meet with a disaster at sea, and put into one of our ports to repair, she shall be at liberty to land and reload all her cargo, without paying any duty whatever. Article 9. If any vessel of the United States shall be cast on shore on any part of our coast, she shall remain at the disposition of the owners, and no one shall attempt going near her without their approbation, as she is then considered particularly under our protection. And if any vessel of the United States shall be forced to put into our ports by stress of weather or otherwise, she shall not be compelled to land her cargo, but shall remain in tranquility until the commander shall think proper to proceed on his voyage. Article 10. If any vessel of either of the parties shall have an engagement with a vessel belonging to any of the Christian powers, within gunshot of the force of the other, The vessel so engaged shall be defended and protected as much as possible until she is in safety. And if an American vessel shall be cast on shore on the coast of Wanoon or any coast thereabout, the people belonging to her shall be protected and assisted until by the help of God they shall be sent to their country. Article 11. If we shall be at war with any Christian power, and any of our vessels sails from the ports of the United States, no vessel belonging to the enemy shall follow until 24 hours after the departure of our vessels. And the same regulation shall be observed towards the American vessels sailing from our ports by their enemies, be their enemies Moors or Christian. Article 12. If any ship of war belonging to the United States shall put into any of our ports, she shall not be examined on any pretense whatever, even though she should have fugitive slaves on board, nor shall the governor or commander of the place compel them to be brought on shore in any pretext, nor require any payment for them. Article 13. If a ship of war of either party shall put into a port of the other, and salute, it shall be returned from the fort with an equal number of guns, not more or less. Article 14. The commerce with the United States shall be on the same footing as is the commerce with Spain, or as that with the most favorable nation for the time being, and their citizens shall be respected and esteemed and have full liberty to pass and repass our country and seaports whenever they please without interruption. Article 15. Merchants of both countries shall employ only such interpreters and such other persons to assist them in their business as they shall think proper. No commander of a vessel shall transport his cargo on board another vessel. He shall not be detained in port longer than he may think proper. And all persons employed in loading or unloading goods or in any other labor whatever shall be paid at the customary rate, not more and not less. Article 16. In case of a war between the parties, the prisoners are not to be made slaves, but to be exchanged one for another, captain for captain, officer for officer, and one private man for another. And if there shall prove a deficiency on either side, it shall be made up by the payment of 100 Mexican dollars for each person wanting. And it is agreed that all prisoners shall be exchanged in 12 months from the time of their being taken, and that this exchange may be effected by a merchant or any other person authorized by either of the parties. Article 17. Merchants shall not be compelled to buy or sell any kind of good but such as they shall think proper, and may buy and sell all sorts of merchandise but such as are prohibited to the other Christian nation. Article 18. All goods shall be weighed and examined before they are set on board, and to avoid all detention of vessels, no examination shall afterwards be made unless it shall first be proved that contraband goods have been set on board, in which case the persons who take the contraband goods on board shall be punished according to the usage and custom of the country, and no other person whatever shall be injured, nor shall the ship or cargo incur any penalty or damage whatever.
Question and said, then said, can I test your worth? Rhetorical. Who's worse, you or that nigga that don't even recognize his own image in the mirror? I'm your soul nigga, and I know that you don't recognize what I look like, but yo, you deaf as a bitch. My voice should be familiar as shit.
Article 19. No vessel shall be detained in port on any pretense whatever, nor be obliged to take on board any article without the consent of the commander, who shall be at full liberty to agree for the freight of any goods he takes on board. Article 20. If any of the citizens of the United States or any persons under their protection shall have any dispute with each other, the council shall decide between the parties. And whenever the council shall require any aid or assistance from our government to enforce his decisions, it shall be immediately granted to him. Article 21. If a citizen of the United States should kill or wound a Moor, or on the contrary, if a Moor shall kill or wound a citizen of the United States, the law of the country shall take place, and equal justice shall be rendered, the council assisting at the trial. And if any delinquent shall make his escape, the council shall not be answerable for him in any manner whatever. Article 22. If an American citizen shall die in our country, and no will shall appear, the council shall take possession of his effect, and if there shall be no council, the effect shall be deposited in the hands of some person worthy of trust, until the party shall appear who has a right to demand them. But if the heir of the deceased be present, the property shall be delivered to him without interruption, and if a will shall appear, the property shall descend agreeable to that will, as soon as the council shall declare the validity thereof. 23. Article 23. The Council of the United States of America shall reside in any seaport of our dominions that they shall think proper, and they shall be respected, and enjoy all the privileges which the councils of any other nation enjoy. And if any citizen of the United States shall contract any debts or engagements, the council shall not be in any manner accountable for them, unless he shall have given a promise in writing for the payment or fulfilling thereof, without which promise in writing no application to him for any redress shall be made. Article 24. If any differences shall arise by either party infringing on any of the articles of this treaty, peace and harmony shall remain notwithstanding in the fullest force, until a friendly application shall be made for an arrangement, and until the application shall be rejected, no appeal shall be made to arm. And if a war shall break out between the parties, 9 months shall be granted to all the subject both parties to dispose of their effects and retire with their property. And it is further declared that whatever indulgence in trade or otherwise shall be granted to any of the Christian powers, the citizens of the United States shall be equally entitled to them. Article 25. This truly shall continue in force with the help of God for 50 years, after the expiration of which term the treaty shall continue to be binding on both parties until the one shall give 12 months notice to the other of any intention to abandon it, in which case its operation shall cease at the end of the 12 months. Consulate of the United States of America for the Empire of Morocco. To all whom it may concern, be it known, whereas the undersigned James R. Leap, and now their resident consul at Tangier, having been duly appointed commissioner by letters passed under the signature of the President and seal of the United States of North America, bearing date at the city of Washington, the 4th day of July, A.D. 1835, for acknowledgement and concluding a treaty of peace and friendship between the United States of North America and the Empire of Morocco. And therefore, James R. Lee, Commissioner as aforesaid, do conclude the foregoing treaty and every article and clause therein contained, reserving the same, nevertheless, for the final ratification of the President of the United States of North America, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto affixed my signature and the seal of this consulate on the 1st day of October, in the year of our Lord 1836, and of the independence of the United States, the 61st. James R. Lee. And so that was the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the United States of America and the Empire of Morocco. His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of Morocco. These United States citizens, per the treaty, aren't Christians. I read a document that said this is not a Christian nation. Another treaty says that this is not a Christian government, nation, corporation, whatever you want to call it. It's a corporation, and it's not a Christian corporation. The quasi-governmental structure of it is not established under the banner of Christian, the guise of Christianity. And this is true because in this treaty, they said that the United States would receive equal XYZ as any of the Christian nations or the Christian powers would receive. They would get the rates and things of that nature of Christian powers. But they didn't call them equal with the Christian powers, as in saying that they were Christian. Another thing in this article, what happens when a Moor does harm to a citizen? What happens when a citizen does harm to a Moor? The fact that this treaty literally states Moors, and they say Moors in and of this dominion and Moors not in and of this dominion. Why would they say that? Well, a lot of the people who claim to be French during this time were Moors. A lot of people who, it's once again, there's a lot of Moors in existence in history. In the Americas, North, South, and the adjoining islands were loaded with Moors. Predominantly Moors were the people, dominantly. And these are our dominions, and we have made agreements with these people, with this organization. So we need to wake up to who we are. And that is the purpose for these treaties, to wake us up to who we are and realize that they know who we are. It is us who needs to know who we are. I'll leave you with the adage from the ancient adage from our ancestors. Know thyself. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, subscribe to my channel. Let me get a like down here so YouTube will know what's going on. And hit that notification bell also. And I mean, leave a comment too. Alright?
Life completely fucked. New York Stock Exchange, instantly your numbers drop. Souls that remain, depression is great. They go berserk, expecting it to stay the same, knowing that it'll never work. It's the battle of the gods. When you win your world